Hey guys, this is Helena with Glass Factory. I'm here with Gail. Hey,
Hello, hi.
how are you doing today?
I'm doing so well. How are you?
Good. Can you tell us a bit about yourself?
Yes, I am 17. I'm a 17-year-old girl who is located in Nashville, Tennessee, that makes and writes music. I have my artist project, GAYLE, that is me, where I just write music and release it, but I'm also a writer and I try my best to write for other people, but right now I'm really focusing on my artist project. So, yeah.
Yeah. What do you like writing? Do you like poetry, short stories?
Yeah, a
Songs?
lot. Like I definitely love writing poetry, but a lot of it's kind of like songwriting. It's more of like based in for songs. There's some stuff when I'm like really, really, really like sad. I don't like putting melodies to it because it feels a
Mm,
little like I feel like it lightens it up a little bit, which at times is a good thing, but sometimes I'm like, no, I want to revel in my sadness.
yeah.
So then it
Yeah.
kind of leads to poetry.
Yeah, that makes sense. I bet that's pretty cathartic as well, just to be able to get that out of your system.
Yeah, it's really nice. And then sometimes it can like lead into songs, like maybe one line or one word.
Yeah. How many drafts would you say you typically make to have a finished product lyrically?
Um, Honestly, like a lot of it starts out of like I either find a word or sentence that I find inspiring, and then I kind of like write it in my notes, and then I ignore it for a little bit until I come back to it. Because sometimes I like just having a space from the idea to kind of like because when you come up with something, it's super exciting. And you're like, I love this, and then you can come
Mhm.
back and be like, what was I thinking? You know. And
Yeah.
so I need my space to be able to kind of like second guess it or just see it from a fresher perspective. And then like a lot of it too is like, yeah, just lyrically, then I take it most of the time to like a co-writer. We write the lyrics and then it kind of goes to production, and then even the production can take a couple times. So honestly, like it can be up to like I could write it by myself and I love it and I don't want to edit it. Or sometimes I can write it with other people and literally rewrite it like 4 times and then reproduce it like 10 times. Like it kind of all depends on what it takes to get the song right, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's cool. I can't remember what the quote was that I was trying to think of, and I still hadn't quite had it, but it was basically about how, like the gist of it was if you like it, then you need to like you like what you write a lot, you need to question it or take it out because usually it's just you that likes it as much as you do. But
Mhm.
yeah, and that's not the quote, but that's the meaning of the quote. I don't know how if that relates to you in any way or not, but
For me, honestly, is the fact that I can never hear a song for the first time if I write it. You know, if I
Mhm.
write it by myself, if I write it with anybody, like I'll never be able to hear it from an outsider's perspective.
Mhm.
And so like I'll never know if they think this thing is catchy or if they think it like loses energy in some parts. And that's why also I love even co-writing, where it's like if I start an idea by myself and then I'm able to bring it to somebody who can hear the idea for the
Mhm.
first time, take their instincts and put it into the song. And then even just getting like other people's outsiders opinions of just like, what do you think? Like, because like I can't like I can like something but I can't hear it for the first time, you know.
Mhm. Yeah, and then that just makes it a little bit more special because then you have people that you work with or care about or all that, like work on that song together and make it a little bit more personal, right? So yeah, that's pretty cool. Who or what would you say your biggest muse in your craft is?
Ooh, honestly, the reason why I do music is Aretha Franklin. Like, she
Mm.
is really what made me fall in love with music and fall in love with singing. I mean, her as a performer and a vocalist is absolutely incredible. And like what she can take to a song to make it her own is, I mean, it is still just like incredible to listen to. And like that was definitely one of like the main inspirations for me to like want to do music. And then I also fell in love with like songwriting, and I feel like Julie Michaels is a pretty like she's such an amazing songwriter. But even like DeLacy, she has an amazing artist project, but she's also like an amazing writer, and that's something I find like super inspiring. Um, so yeah, I mean, I try my best to do that, but obviously I'm definitely no Julie Michaels, but I'm trying my best to keep up as much as I can, you know.
Well, you're honestly doing amazing where you're at. Like you're just starting out really, right? So, and you're already reaching so much success. So it's really cool to see that and witness that, especially with like the kind of music that you write. It's very personal and but it's also really fun too. So how would you say the pandemic has impacted your creative process?
I write a lot of my songs for live performances. So, kind of like in quarantine when it was like, I want to say 6 months around that time when live shows weren't happening, I watched the movie Almost Famous. And it had this scene of just this rock concert, of this rock show. And it was one of those things where like I haven't seen a live show in so long. And I saw the energy, like my heart just like earned for that, like more in ways that like I could even like explain, like my heart hurt watching that because I wanted that so badly. And I think even in that moment, I was like, I want to be able to do that. You know, I haven't been able to have live shows for so long, and it's going to be a minute before they're able to like happen again. I want to really be able to like deliver for that live performance. So I think it made me be able to be like, oh, this is a thing that I really want to like work towards and like create a specific energy for my live set. But it also made me write songs like not for performing because it's not going to be happening for so long, kind of having songs with more of like a chill vibe. So I think it kind of went back and forth from having like these really big songs that I was trying to do for live performance and then these like super chill, like more bedroom lo-fi type songs just because live performances weren't happening for so long.
You recently released your latest single, ABCDEFU. What are some concepts that influenced the writing process?
Honestly, a lot of it, I think even like a bit of like Alanis Morissette was a big inspiration. Even just the like rawness that her stuff had was it was when she was angry, she was angry. And she was talking about her own personal experiences. And even the things that like she was saying were very daring, especially at the time. And people definitely had the ability to be offended by it. You know, she was a bit like, I mean, I don't care. It's my story. I'm going to tell it. Like, I'm not trying to offend you, but I'm not going to go out of my way to try and please you either because I'm just telling my story. And I think that energy was definitely trying to be channeled with ABC, where it was very like, I'm telling my story. It's not that I'm like purposely going out of my way to offend somebody. It's just that like, that's my story.
Yeah. Could you tell me a little bit more about that story that just influenced that in that song in the first place?
I mean, I was in this relationship and we broke up and I tried really, really, really hard to be his friend. Like I was calling this man like a week after we broke up being like, what's up, bud? What's up, friend? And I think I was really like, I think I was doing it a bit as a coping mechanism, really suppressing my emotions, even like inside of the relationship, like the negative things he did when I was his girlfriend. And then even like afterwards, he would just say things that weren't necessarily the nicest things, but I just like suppressed it and didn't let myself feel it because we already worked so hard on having a friendship and we're doing this and it's good. And that I heard through a mutual friend that he was just talking about me. Like he was just like, she still wants to be with me. She's jealous. Excuse me? And it honestly, like all of the things that like I suppressed just came flooding in.
Thanks for sharing that with us. Yeah. So I am actually really curious. I heard in your talking points that you have chromesthesia. Is that how you pronounce it? So how does that influence you in your craft? Like, are there moods and stuff that come out of the colors that are in the sounds of your songs, stuff like that? Or is it totally different? I'm just trying to understand it a little bit more.
Yeah, a lot of it is like I will make a song or even just a song in general. I like see the color to it. So like I'll hear it and I'll instantly see a color. And it's hard to explain, but it's not like this. It's not like
right.
And it's like this like square. I instantly see it in my brain. And there's actually a couple times where I loved a song, but I hated the color of it. I just couldn't figure out why I didn't like the song. And then it was super like, oh, I don't like the color I see every time I hear it. With ABC, the song is red. So for some stuff, like I had my car, that was a red car, and we just kind of like put in specific like hints at leaning at the song being red. A lot of my ideas and the aesthetics and the visuals are very like colored based.
Yeah, that's cool. It's really cool to hear a little bit more about that. How do you think the new single is going to influence your music in the future?
You know, just honesty and vulnerability is something that I'm really going to be going to try and channel throughout the years of telling my story and releasing music. But I do think ABC is just a good place to start in the intensity level of my music.
Yeah, that's cool. So what are you working on next? How much are you able to tell me?
ABC, there's been a demo version that came out, and then
Mm-hmm.
recently there's a chill version, and there's going to be another version coming out at the end of the week. It's the angry version. It's ABC a lot angrier, a lot angrier. So yeah, I'm excited about it.
That's awesome. I'm looking forward to hearing it.
Yes, yes, and then hopefully a project, a body of work shall be coming soon-ish.
Yeah, and then a tour.
Yes,
Do you know roughly when you're going to be going on tour?
yes, it is actually something I literally can't announce until tomorrow.
Well, so my last question for you is what have you taken from 2020 and how are you using what you learned to conquer everything moving forward?
Um, I think it's making the best out of shitty situations. You know, I would have never, ever obviously wanted the world to go into a quarantine or there to be a deadly pandemic. Because of that, my brother was a senior in high school, and I got to spend a year with him before he went off to college. We got a lot closer, and my best friend actually moved in with me during quarantine. And we got a lot closer, and I was able to just have an opportunity to sit down and write more songs and write the best songs that I possibly can. I think even like TikTok, I don't know if it would have been as huge as it is. And I think that's able to give artists a platform to be able to like release their music and get people's true opinion. Yeah, like I obviously would have never wanted that to happen, but I was able to like get really, really positive experiences. Obviously there's negatives, but overall it was actually a pretty joyful experience. Probably the biggest lesson that I've learned, and I'm really trying to take it. Happiness consistently does have to be choice. You know, there's so many things to be sad about in the world, and sometimes you just have to choose happiness, and that's really something that I've been working on.
Thanks for sharing all that and congratulations on your upcoming releases and your current one that you have out, current ones that you have out. So yeah, it's been really nice to talk with you.
It's been lovely talking to you. Thank you for taking time out of your day.